turned 51 2 months ago, roughly. And I realized something. I am done with manifesting, and not in the way you're probably expecting, not in the way that I would have thought 5 years ago I would be sharing this video. But I came to this huge realization that manifesting in the way I had learned it, in the way I had been doing it, was counterproductive, was holding me back, was keeping me stuck. And I don't know about you, but at this midlife point, whether you're at any point in your life, but likely in your middle age, if you're watching this video, you might sometimes wake up and say, how did I get here? What happened? This was not the plan. I had these big dreams. I had these grand visions for my life, and maybe some of them happened. They sure have for me, but many of them didn't. And you feel stagnant, or you feel stuck, or you feel so much more is possible. That's the one for me. It's like, I know life is an experience, and I know I'm kind of playing a small game. And I've talked a big game for a long time. I've read the books. I've done this stuff. Still playing kind of a small game for what I know is possible, for what I know I came here to do. Can you relate to that? And I think you're going to really like this video if you can. And I'm going to share my ahas, the realizations about manifesting, why it didn't work for me, what I'm doing instead. And I hope it works for you. I hope that you can have the same epiphanies and the same growth and healing from what I'm about to share with you. So if you haven't come across me before, my name is Gavin Weber. I'm excited you're here. I'm on this journey with you. I'm sharing my experiences and yes, things in the past, but really kind of more now what I'm building, what I'm growing, stepping into that possibility and overcoming my fears. So if you haven't subscribed, I would love you to come along on this journey with me. I have hopefully some really valuable things that I'm going to be giving you. So back to manifestation. I've realized that there are a number of things that are not serving when it comes to manifestation. You probably along the way came across the movie The Secret. So did I. Hook, line, and sinker. And I was like, yes, the law of attraction. Now I can have the life I want. I can have the money I want. I can manifest what I want like that. And then that is going to make me feel better. That's going to make me happy. When I have those things, that's what's missing. I will feel better once I have the money, once I have the house, the car, the job, the dream, the thing everybody we're chasing. And that's the big, real first aha that I realized is that learning to manifest kept me stuck in the game of chasing. There's this inherent issue with manifesting is that it's not already there, that you don't already have it. And yes, it tries to teach you how to feel and how to as if it's already happened. And the routine if you're watching this video. But there's this inherent component to it that it's not within you right now. And that, you have to, manifest it. And there's a disconnect there. There is a fundamental issue and problem with that thinking. And the thing that happens with manifesting, our whole life is manifesting. Everything you see around you is a thought and creation, whether it was subconscious or intentional. And what manifesting tries to get you to do is to be intentional about your creation. Nothing wrong with that. I agree with that. But there's this inherent problem with the chasing, with that you are in lack and that you need to get this other thing to then be okay, to then feel whole, to then feel happy. And so it's this constant cat and mouse game. It's this constant, you're just outside of it. And the thing that happens, which I think we can all relate to, is you do manifest a lot of things you want. Like the law of attraction does work, but it is so frustrating when it works in one area and not in another. For me, example of that, we have been able to constantly align and manifest the house that we want. Our easy solution, and I don't, we didn't do this in other areas, which is crazy, but we write it down, put it on the fridge, and know it's going to happen because we had so much experience with that happening. And then it would. And the craziest stories, just houses popping out of nowhere. We lived in, and for another time, but in the Killer's house. Now, the band, right? And his name is Dave, one of the founders, and he used to be the lead guitarist. He isn't involved anymore. But that was such a cool story, like beyond what we could imagine for like the neighborhood when we moved to San Diego. And it was everything we wanted. And we did that to houses, but then other things like my businesses and like what I wanted to, how I wanted to serve the world. Those were always a completely different story. A job that was meaningful to me, always a different story. I'd had jobs where I would have income goals and I would hit those. But again, that is the loop of manifesting. What's the essence? What's the why behind why we're trying to manifest? And if you really look closely, it's because we inherently feel like something's missing, something's not right with us, that something's wrong with the world. And there's this belief, whether it's taught or just subtle or subconscious, that, and we can make the law of attraction work in our life, then that will solve everything. Not true. And what I realized after many, many years is that thinking and that teaching has just put me on this spiral of the same things happening over and over. And along the way in that circle, like, yes, manifestation, yes, and a bunch of no, 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 right? So I always felt like I was working against myself. I was always upstream. I was always like, why does this feel so goddamn hard? Why does this feel so empty? Why do, even when I, manifested the house or the car, that it almost became a burden? That it's like, well, now how do I keep it? Like, how do I pay for it? How do I I never matched the vibration of the essence of the manifestation. So it was always hard to keep. And I would cruelly, frustratingly lose those things. And, whether it was like my dream, moving to San Diego, and now we live in Florida and having to move away, or get my dream car and a year later having to sell it, or, getting pretty much out of the Killer's house. Like he wanted, we move in, we love it. And then he's like, oh, I want to sell the house. We were renting it. So there's always this dichotomy. And I want to really set home this part of manifesting, is that it's taught, it's seen as this solution to your problems. And you've got to realize it's not. The lack of wholeness, the lack of abundance, the lack of joy, the lack of love is not coming because, or showing up because you don't have enough stuff. You don't have what you want. Drew Carey, it's one of a great line. It's like, I wish everybody could be, a millionaire and really rich, and see that that doesn't solve all their problems. And in a lot of ways could create more, right? And so how do you solve all your problems? How do you have the life that you want? How do you, get that joy and that connection and that meaning and that purpose? Those are the questions I've been asking myself. And getting back to the manifesting is like, I would always try to manifest this business that first had the goal of, well, I got to make money. Because if I can pay my bills, then I can leave the job I didn't like. And then I can build that business more and make more money and make more money. Huge issue that took me a long time to realize. I would try to build businesses I didn't like. I didn't care about, I didn't know much about, but I thought they would make money and I thought that would be the answer. And so the essence of what I thought the business and the money would bring me, I was never aligned with. Hear that. I was never aligned with what I was manifesting. And guess what? That really makes it hard to manifest. So another thing why I'm done with manifesting is that, I was chasing the wrong things. Going on with what I was just saying, I realized that I was pursuing things and wanting things I didn't really care about, but I didn't know what I did care about. I didn't know what would make me happy. I didn't know what the problem was. I didn't know why I felt so lonely and so empty. And like other people had their life together and I was just kind of going through it. That, you know, I do have this wonderful marriage. I have wonderful kids. I have the life so many people, want to have, and you might relate to this. So it's constantly like, why isn't that enough? What's wrong with me? What what is within me that thinks I need these other things to then be happy? Felt broken, felt confused, felt angry because I could never just seem to figure it out. And it's like, I knew I should be happy, but I wasn't. Like, what? Like, how dysfunctional is that? That like, most Americans have it better than anyone in the world. Okay. And most Americans, if you look at studies, are less happy than most of the world. So that was a big indicator that like, oh, manifesting the money wasn't necessarily the answer. And so I'm done with that. Am I open to abundance? Absolutely. Not beginning with the money. So what am I doing? I'm re-looking at how I've gone about life, what I've made important, what I've made the mountaintop, and reevaluating it, analyzing it, looking at it. And again, along the way, and this is a great part of life, is that if you're willing to look in the mirror, if you're willing to look within, all the answers are there. All the things that, weren't the creations, weren't the life you wanted to live, to vibrate with, to align with. Like there's answers there for you. And so I've looked at those answers. I'm seeing what worked. I'm seeing what didn't work. And I'm sharing that with other people in a multitude of ways on this channel, on YouTube. I'm building an app that I feel like is my life's purpose, to where I'll share in other videos, possibly the next one, of how guided meditation has been monumental in healing what felt lacking within me and doing what I would call healthy manifestation, not chasing manifestation, which is just going to keep you in the loop of chasing like what you think is going to complete you from lack. And that's just a loop that'll never end. And so I'm creating this app called Guide, and you can see it or look at it in the description. I'll leave it on there. There will be times, and yes, I will promote that on here. That's not only what this channel is about. I'm going to allow this channel to be a testimonial of what I'm practicing, of what I'm working on, of what I'm creating, and showing you the power of this app through hopefully many of your testimonials and hopefully millions of people having their own journey of healing and aligning and engineering their reality. And I'm just in the process of finishing a book about kind of what I'm talking about. And it's called Reality Engineered Protocol. And it's what I wish I would have had 20 years ago. I wish I would have learned this process of reality creation, and not just the law of attraction of like attracts like. So I want to try to get as much stuff as I can and think that'll be the answer. It's not. You probably know that. And that's why I'm done with that. So now I'm aligning with truth. I'm being transparent, knowing there is no figuring it out. There is no perfect solution. That really the only problem is that I think there's a problem, or that something is outside of me, and that I don't sometimes remember that the answers are all here waiting for us if we accept them, if we see them, if we don't distract ourselves on social media, and we don't distract ourselves through sports, all things I'm doing, or chasing the success and the money just to then feel status, to feel whole, to like compete and be like, look at me. I'm not worried about that. I want to give. I want to serve. I want to make an app so amazing for people that it transforms their life. And that's what this channel is about. So I hope you take a look at, what are you manifesting? How do you look at the law of attraction? What have you learned? What have been your experiences? Again, I'm a fan of manifesting in a healthy way, in a empowered way, in a way that is more in tune with who we are rather than with who we are not. I hope this has been thought-provoking. I hope you would join me on this journey. If you look at the rest of my website, I have some guided meditations on there. Again, you can check out Guide Meditation app. You get to create your own personalized custom meditation. And I'll be launching my book soon. And on that note, this is right before the new year in 2025, going into 2026. I'm looking for about 50 to 100 people that would like to be a part of like my first group within the app. And that's not going to be a group thing. It will be individual, but I'm going to give them a lot of extra attention. I'm going to get feedback, hopefully for some testimonials in return, but I just really want to see, like, how can I help you? What do you like about it? What would you improve? And I've had great success with it. And I'm going to take people probably about 3 to 6 months and do some extra side calls and coaching and really try to give and help and serve as much as I can so that the app can give as many people as possible a wonderful transformational experience, and to help them create, they know that's possible, and a tool that will help them do it. So like this, comment. I'd like to hear from you. What do you think? What do you think about manifestation? What do you think about, how your life's going for? If you're middle-aged, what's the next chapter for you? What would it look like if you could revive your dream? This is the place. Let's do it together. Much love.